Boom, monkeys, and we are live. Welcome back to the Crypto Boogie channel. I apologize about yesterday, cats. I got a little bit under the weather. I guess I had a little bit too much caffeine, and I had to freaking get out of the freaking live stream, man, because too much caffeine, man, it screws you up sometimes. You know what I'm saying, mind you, I did have a good workout that day, which was yesterday, but nevertheless, I am back here today. I wanted to drop some alpha when it came to Boo and some of the other tokens we're going to cover today. Now, we are going to cover the memes of the day, and we are going to hit up some other tokens as well to include Bitcoin. I do want to hit up some Ton, a little bit of Hex. I also have some Boo that I do want to go visit up, Solana, AVAX, and of course, a Pulse chain. So I'm glad to have all of you here. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to my channel, because shit's about to get freaking fire on. Shout out to the first Moon Ganger in the chat, none other than my amigo Zenith. Get basa, boy. Hey, what's up, man? I'm glad to see you're learning great Spanish there, dog. You know what I'm saying? You and I got to have some tequila next time we meet up in Vegas, by the way. I don't know if you're all freaking partied out already from the last freaking trip you had out there, but nevertheless, if we do have another crypto mindset meetup, I definitely want to see you cats there. You know what I'm saying? So let's move on to the memes of the day. Let's try this sucker again. Vamos a ver. Let's try this sucker again. Hopefully it works out this time. Let me see. Give me a second, cats. I've got this prep for you guys. Just want to make sure this shit is on fire. Absolutely awesome. And here we go. I tried playing this for you guys yesterday, man, but then I had to finish the stream early. So this is Tortilla People when using the power of their shitty music to cause me permanent hearing damage. And of course, they're talking about corridos and stuff like that, man. So let's see this play. That's so hilarious, man. Then we got this sucker over here, man. When you told her it's been a while and she didn't listen.
Oh, stop!
Oh my gosh, dude. That's hilarious, dude. Oh my god. It goes laugh out loud. I know shitty Caribbean Spanish, a jumble of like 5 different dialects, dude. All right, cats. Let's move on to the first token of the day. We're going to cover a little bit of Bitcoin. Let's see where Bitcoin's moving today. And I am glad, man, because finally we're freaking correcting, dude. Now, let me turn this sucker on. Current value of Bitcoin is approximately 66,258. That's where we're currently at right now. Let me turn off this 50 and this 200. Now, as you can tell, and as you can see, man, we're starting to approach this portion of support, which is here at 65,584, which is this white line over here. And of course, we've got these other areas of support, which are as well as 62,560, and then we have 59,621. Now, if we look at our 60-day cycle, currently at the time being, if we take this tool here and we push it all the way out to the current day, we are at about day 56. And it does seem we did have a recent all-time high, and I think that was at about 73,679, or was it? No, 73,794. And that was here on day 51. So we can go ahead and put this arrow over here. And that is the next high we do have to beat. Unfortunately, or fortunately, we are going to retrace a little bit. And I'm hoping we come back down here to the 60,000 area mark. And I think that pretty much entails what's going to end up happening. If we turn on our EMA ribbon, though, on the daily, it does seem like it's going to be a battle to the downside, though, because this EMA ribbon in itself is acting as a strong area of support. And as mentioned earlier before, you guys can see this box I have over here, and that box represents that support that we did have for a couple of days there before we ended up freaking pumping up and then continued the rally. You know what I'm saying? So this may be an area that we may have a hard time compromising, which is at about 62,000. But I do think we'll possibly come down here to about 59,594 or 60,000 flat before we continue our rally to the upside. If we activate our Bollinger Band, we still got plenty of room to travel to the downside. And if you notice this first standard deviation here, which is this yellow line, it entails where we may end up stopping at, and it's exactly at 60,305. So it's in this general area. So I can draw this up right here. It's in this spot right here where we may end up getting stopped before we're continuing our rally. And it's a good thing you guys are here, because for people that don't know technical analysis and things of that nature, to a lot of people, they just see the market dip and they think freaking the Bitcoin run is over. I've got a little homie. I was helping him out with some of his crypto bags. He's like, dude, I want to sell. I'm like, bro, calm down. Everything's going to be fine, dude. It's just that you don't really study charts, or you aren't around people that notice how the trend is going on in the market right now. And he's got a decent bag of FTM and Illuvium. And I told him, bro, like, dude, FTM hasn't even hit its all-time high yet. I understand you're up. I understand if you were to cash out right now, you'd be in profit. I understand if you cash out your Ethereum, you'd be in profit. I understand if you cash out on any of these tokens, I mean, you'd be in profit. But note, we're not even at the all-time high yet. We're just barely getting started. You know what I'm saying? He goes, really? Yeah, man. Just, dude, watch my channel and you'll see what I'm talking about. And this is only normal. Speaking of Bitcoin and where we might be heading to, I also have another Bitcoin chart for you cats, which I have been following, and that is the Bitcoin chart on the weekly. Now, if you guys notice, we are still following this Elliott wave trend, and it does seem we've already made contact with a third portion of the Elliott wave, and we're fixing to come down on a retracement, possibly down here to about 60,000. Now, what can be a possibility as well, but I don't really think it'll happen. You see this line of support we have right here? We could come retrace down this way, and that would put us exactly at about 52,740. Will it likely happen? I don't think it will. I'm hoping it does. I'm hoping that does happen. And mind you, that is on the weekly, because that will give us a better buying opportunity to buy some more of your favorite altcoins, or some more of your favorite freaking L1s and stuff like that, like Ethereum and things of that nature. So those are areas we may come down to. If we activate our EMA ribbon on the weekly, though, you could tell that the next area we do have the EMA ribbon of support is possibly down here at a 49,261. And people are like, Boogie, can we come down that low? It is a possibility, but again, is it probable? Probably not. But yes, it can come down to that area, and that would be a pretty strong area of support. And we may even be able to come down here to about 44, but it'll probably won't happen. And as you guys can see, every candle here, because we are on the weekly, represents one entire week. It does not represent an entire day. So this is a whole week of a candle printing, which causes more support and more resistance and things of that nature. So hence why I do think that Charlie is right, and will possibly come down here to about 60,000, and we'll bounce back up. And then we'll go into a fifth portion of Elliott wave, which will be price discovery again. You know what I'm saying? And that's the data we have on Bitcoin. Let me see. That is the information we do have on Bitcoin, Monkey. So food for freaking thought. It does seem we are trending in a downwards fashion, but let's go on to one of my favorite tokens, which I am still collecting, by the way. And that is ILV. Let's see where ILV is at. For you cats that don't know what ILV is at, it's Illuvium. I think I have the chart up here for you cats ready to go. Okay, let me prep that for you guys. I do want to show you the ILV chart, and that is a very important chart that we do want to freaking cover today. Let me go over here to TradingView. Prep it for you cats. Type of one in the chat if you guys are fooling around with ILV, man. Now, if we look at ILV and where it's at right now, you pull this sucker down this way. Boom. Stream. Hey, what's up? Smooth Brain. Hope you're feeling yourself, but hey, I'm feeling a lot better, man. Thanks for asking, homie. So let's go over to ILV and let's see where ILV's at. And I actually pulled off a play on ILV, and I'll be showing you the Solana chart on it as well. I've been DCAing lightly into ILV, and it does seem that today, if you look at our current candle right now, starting from this date here of about March 5th, and we push our freaking measuring tool all the way out, that puts us at approximately 14 days. From anywhere from 14 days to 21 is usually where I take into account where we may come into a maximum dip for its 20-day cycles, and that applies to majority of the altcoins. So I am assuming that we are reaching the bottom portion of our 20-day cycle, and that may be today, or maybe we can push it all the way out to about March 26th. So if I had extra cash, which I do, I'm probably going to start DCAing more into ILV. Now, one of the things that I did do with ILV as of recent, and let me see if I can pull up the freaking tweet, because this is an airdrop for you cats. If you guys especially messed with a little bit of freaking Solana, let me see if I can pull this sucker up, man, because we did get a Jupiter airdrop if you were holding on to some Solana. And I used that Jupiter airdrop. And mind you, I'm not saying that Jupiter's a bad token or anything of that nature. Close this sucker out. Freaking trash. Whatever. But I will definitely show it to you cats. All right. So what I went ahead and I did, I got some Jupiter because I was holding on to some Jupiter in my Phantom wallet. And mind you, I'm not referring to the Phantom ecosystem in the MetaMask account that you can end up setting up. I'm actually talking about the Phantom wallet, which held Solana. And I was holding on to that. And my homie, Angry Twink, he told me, hey, Boogie, why don't you go check your wallet, man? See if you got some of that Jupiter airdrop. And lo and behold, man, I had 200 tokens. So I went ahead and I took that fucking, that doggone Jupiter. I swapped it out for a little bit of freaking Solana. And then when Solana freaking reached this tipping point, I went ahead and I cashed out. I got some USDC and I waited for Illuvium to dip. And I caught it here at about 125, I think. But I'm going to end up buying a little bit more freaking Illuvium, especially if we break this point here about 121. Now, if we activate our EMA ribbon, you can see that we're piercing into our EMA ribbon, and we're almost at the halfway point, which tells me that we may be stopping pretty soon, and we may end up starting a new 20-day cycle on this sucker. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I did do a stream with Agent J from the DGen Roundtable, and we reviewed the top portions of where ILV could go to. So if you cats don't know, and you guys are new to my channel, we drew up this Fibonacci retracement, and it's not out of the realm of possibilities that we could come back to our all-time highs of about $1,912, or maybe even up over here to about $4,000, give or take, which would put us between this blue line and this red line. But if we max it out, it is not out of the realm of possibilities that we could revisit this 86.73. And you're thinking, no way, man. How in the hell can I put in dinero into a $123 token and walk out with $8,000? Well, I mean, this must be your very first crypto market, because I've seen gains like that happen before. So it is a possibility Illuvium can run that hot. And food for thought, monkeys. Hence why I think ILV is still at a great buying price. Let me put the sucker back on the daily, and let's see how we're doing on the Bollinger Bands. So, and you could see one badass thing about ILV too, as well, is that you're noticing that we're scaffolding. We're coming up, we're pulling down, we're coming up, we're pulling down, we're coming up, and we're pulling down, which is creating that really solid support and resistance. If we activate our Bollinger Bands, you can see that we still have room to travel all the way down here to about $105, but I sincerely don't believe that's going to happen. Again, because if we pull up our EMA ribbon, it's probably going to act as a real strong area of support. I mean, we could revisit the bottom portion of the EMA ribbon, which would be the bottom portion of the Bollinger Band, but I think it's going to be difficult for it to pierce it. We might end up getting a wick to the downside, which is something that can occur, but I think a lot of it we'll find out which way and how long Illuvium is going to dump, depending on when Bitcoin hits its 60-day cycle bottom, if anything, which we are approaching pretty damn closely. Since we already finished talking about freaking Illuvium, let's go over to freaking Solana. And if we look at Solana, see, I got the sucker up right here. Now, Solana, remember I was telling you cats, there's 20-day cycles on altcoins. Well, Solana was kind of freaking pushing its limit right now. We're actually on day 24. And if you guys notice prior to that, all the way from about, look at this shit, man. I've got it measured all the way till September, from September 11th, 2023, all the way to the current day today in 20-day cycles. And that's what all these green arrows entail. So 16 days, 16 days, 15 days, 17 days, 23, 22. And then we've got some here at about 21, 20, 14, 18. But this is the oddball one. This is the one that's pushing us out a little bit more. And I'm assuming because a lot of people are participating in a lot of the meme tokens. So what I went ahead and I did, I swapped out my Jupiter token and I waited for Solana to freaking touch this freaking green line right here, or this yellow white line here at about 198. I sold it into freaking I sold it over into USDC on Coinbase, and I used that to DCA more into ILV. Now, mind you, can Jupiter do better than Solana? Absolutely. Can Jupiter run to the moon? Probably it can. But I don't want to be allocated into too many damn tokens, and then I can't track my portfolio because I've got too much shit to work on. You know what I'm saying? So the best thing to do sometimes is to consolidate and keep it in a smaller, shorter portfolio. Especially for you cats that have been in the crypto market long enough, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's very difficult freaking keeping track of so many tokens, especially when you work a day job, you run a business, and then you're running a YouTube channel. So food for thought, monkeys. Again, I'm not saying that Solana's not going to do well. I'm not saying Jupiter's not going to do well. But I use this to go ahead and DCA into my freaking doggone, freaking Illuvium, by the way. And mind you, another option you guys can do as well is DCA back into Ethereum. As long as Ethereum is under freaking doggone $4,000, it's still a good price to buy into, if anything. You know what I mean? And I was advocating big time for us to be getting into Ethereum, especially under 2,200 bucks. Now, if you guys want to find out if you guys got that Jupiter token airdrop, let me go and drop this freaking link in the chat. Mind you, here you go. And you guys can check it out right here. If you connect your Phantom wallet to this, it should tell you if you've got your Jupiter tokens. Now, one of the places you can swap out your Jupiter tokens is on Radium, but I would go to CoinGecko and get that data for you cats. Or you can go, I think there's another one called Orca. You see. So if I share this with you guys, let's see, Radium. So it's this one right here. And you could see right here, this is the Radium. Currently, Radium's at 246, and this is the exchange you could use. And I think if you come down here, radium.io is when you can go ahead and make your swaps there. And it is on the Solana network. So food for thought, monkeys. Thought I'd drop you that little bit of alpha, especially if you cats were holding on to a little bit of Solana in your freaking Phantom wallet, if anything, monkeys. You know what I'm saying? So since we already covered a little bit of ILV and we covered a little bit of Solana, let's move on to some ton token, monkeys. Let's see what ton token entails. Here it is. Now, Ton's current value is at about $3.70. And Ton is ripping to the upside pretty damn hard. If you guys see this marker right here at 220, I went ahead and I bought some freaking Ton right here at about 219. And as you guys can tell, if you guys check out this Elliott wave, it does seem like it is playing out, if anything, on the daily. As per my chart, I think there's other charts that show the all-time high for Ton. This one doesn't really show the all-time high. So I'm counting this as a fifth portion of an Elliott wave, and that'll pretty much price discovery. But Ton's current value is at about $3.69. So let's grab a Fibonacci tool, and let's see where Ton can go. Let me see if I got this sucker for you cats here. Let's see. So I've drawn this sucker out, man. Ton can rally pretty damn hard, bro. It is a possibility it can go up over here to 10, 13 bucks or possibly even $8, if anything. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, this is not financial advice, cats. These are the possibilities and the areas you can get it at. Now, if I take that off and we activate our EMA ribbon, you can see that we do have a shitload of support to the downside here for ton token. And the immediate area of support that we do have meets up with this candle on this day right here, which would be approximately $3.28. If we look at our 20-day cycle on this bad boy, we are exactly at day 14. I drew up this yellow marker to go ahead and mark that. So we are pretty much starting to get a dip. And I'm assuming that will possibly be at the end of the dip, at least by March 26th. Now, the high that we did get on freaking ton was here on about day 8, on around that date right there. And that value was approximately $4.40 on a wick. Now, in order for us to beat that, we do need to probably bounce off this EMA ribbon and then continue trending to the upside, if anything. As far as the Bollinger Bands goes, this is probably why we started shrinking back. If you guys can see, the day we got that all-time high on March 13th, we almost reached this third deviation of the Bollinger Band. Hence why we probably started retracing back to the downside, monkeys. You know what I'm saying? So ton could be one of those tokens that you could use to go ahead and freaking get more Ethereum. Hence, that's what I'm doing. Now, mind you, go over to Angry Twinkie's channel. I think he tells you on how to get ton in its native freaking chain. I got the sucker via ERC20 utilizing Uniswap. And the reason I did that was because here in Texas, we really can't use, I think the name of the website is called Ton Keeper. We're not really permitted to use that here in Texas. And I think you can't use it in New York as well. So this is more of a European-based token, if anything. And it's from the people that went ahead and they pushed forward with a Telegram chat. So I think it's an Eastern European token, if anything, cats. So food for thought. I am using Ton to go ahead and increase the size of my bag of Ethereum. Mind you, a lot of the coins that I do have in my portfolio that are anywhere under $3,000 in value, and I'm not referring to the coin itself, I'm talking about the bag itself. I'm pretty much using that to make my other portfolio big, my Ethereum bag a little bit bigger. And that's what I'm using it for. That way it stabilizes your portfolio a little bit more. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? All right, monkeys, let's go over to some Boo. Let's see what Boo is entailing. See what we got on this freaking Boo token, son. And mind you, we're going to talk about this shit yesterday, man. But, dude, I got so freaking under the weather with that shit. Let's see if I got the Boo freaking interface here. Paint swap. Let me pull this up, cats. Freaking Boo, son. And today we had a massive rally on what seems to be Boo. Let's check this sucker out. Turn this sucker. No, that's Bitcoin, son. Here we go. All right, monkeys. This is what I got on freaking Spooky Swap. Dude, Boo is freaking rallying hardcore. If you guys can see, I'm using the Fibonacci fan for this sucker to see where Boo may end up going to. And let me turn this sucker off, bro, so you guys can see a little bit clearer. You guys can tell that we got a Giga Chad candle today. So we take our measuring tool and we measure this sucker. We went up approximately 54% today alone. And it does seem on the UTC candle, which we are printing, it does seem we are continuing to rally to the upside, if anything. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know how long this can hold out because it does seem Bitcoin's going to the downside. So I am assuming that once Bitcoin starts dipping pretty hard and we start approaching that $65,000 mark or that $60,000 mark, Boo's going to end up reversing on this sucker. Now, I did draw up this Fibonacci retracement here, and you guys could see the next area we are set to compromise, or the next area we should be set to compromise, would be this black line over here, which would be at about $3.75. if I take my measuring tool from where we're currently at right now and I pull this to the upside, it's approximately 20% to the upside that we do need to run before we can get there. And then we have to hold that value for about a week. Now, mind you, for you cats that don't know, let me see if I can pull this up for you monkeys. Let me see if I can pull this up for you cats, because you guys are going to want to know about this shit. So let me show you this shit, monkeys. If you come over here to Spooky Swap, monkeys, present, share screen. If you come over here to Spooky Swap and you go over to the farm, you can see currently at the time being the Phantom Boo pool isn't paying out that much APR. But the badass thing is if you go over here to Stake Boo and you freaking make your Boo token into X Boo, it's paying approximately, currently at the time being, 15.88% APR. And if you've got a Magic Cat, you can basically boost that up almost to about 19%, give or take. And you'll earn this Poltergeist token. I don't know anything about this token, but I'm pretty much using it to DCA back into my Boo freaking bag. And that is an option. You also freaking get paid out with some exchange fees. And the badass thing about this shit, if you do end up staking your freaking Boo, there's no impermanent loss. So over here, we do have this farm. So if you cats that don't know how liquidity pool works, basically what happens, if you're holding on to Phantom and you're holding on to Boo, if Boo rallies too much, what ends up happening, you end up selling some more of your Boo so your Phantom bag can meet up with it. Or if Phantom dumps too much, you'll start selling some of your Boo so your Phantom bag can end up freaking aligning itself with it. Vice versa. So you could end up with some impermanent loss. Hence why I like the option of single-sided staking Boo, because then there is less risk. So food for thought, monkeys. That may be an option for you cats. And you get paid out a little bit more. You can see that the APR is paying out a little bit more. Now, if we go back to the chart for you cats that don't know, and you want to check out frickin' Spooky Swap on this bad boy. You guys that don't, okay, let me show you guys the actual charts. So you guys can see the all-time high for freaking Boo. You can see that the all-time high for Boo was approximately over here at about $39, $40. So with the amount of wallets that are going to probably come into the Phantom ecosystem or into this next crypto space, as more retail comes back, it's not outside of the realm of possibilities that we could end up running anywhere up to $80 to $100 on a freaking Boo token. So that's not impossible. So if we freaking pull this sucker up over here and we grab this freaking ray, you're talking about basically possibly going up to this point from where we're currently at. So that's not really that much higher than what its all-time high used to be. You're talking about 108% from its all-time high. That's not outside of the realm of possibilities, monkeys. And if you guys looked at Phantom, the all-time high for Phantom was at about, what, $3.40, give or take? And then if you guys were on DCC stream earlier, you guys can clearly see that DCC was talking about freaking doggone Phantom. He was expecting Phantom to go anywhere to about $9. Now, I did run an Elliott wave on Phantom, and I ended up with a price point of about $18. Mind you, this is not financial advice, and it's not outside of the realm of possibility. Miguel said anywhere about freaking $16. And I think Charlie, about a couple months ago, had stated that he could see Phantom going up to $8, which is not crazy, man. Now, I would use my Boo to DCA back into Phantom, if anything. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to my homie here, Benny Blanco. What's up, Boogie? What's up, chat? Awesome Alpha, brother. Appreciate you bigly. Hey, man, that's what I'm here to do, dog. So, shout out to you, Benny Blanco. Do me a favor, cats. I see 255 people here in the chat. Give this video a freaking like, bro. Subscribe to my channel. Of course, I've got all these beautiful tools in the back that YouTube doesn't want me to show, hence why my channel is being throttled, monkeys. So the more I get subscribers, the more likes I get, I beat the algorithm freaking YouTube's trying to throw at me, and it motivates me to keep making freaking content for you monkeys. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, since we already covered Boo, there's another token that I still think is capable of running pretty hard. That's only ran a little bit that a lot of people have forgotten about. Now, mind you, none of this shit is financial advice. And we've got the mother frickin', let me see if I got the sucker pulled up. Is it this one? Yeah, son. And that is Paint Swap. Paint Swap on the daily, right now, its current value is at approximately what? 2 pennies and 78% of a penny. And you can see that there's still plenty of room to run to the upside. The highest portion we've ever been on freaking Paint Swap is up over here to about 25 cents. So there's still plenty of room to run. And as you guys can see with this Fibonacci freaking drawing that we have here, the next area we do need to come to is approximately this black line over here at about 52 or about 5 cents and 23 cents. If we turn on our moving averages, our 9 moving average, and we look closely to where we're at, I'm sorry, take that back. We have broken we've broken below the 9 moving average. We also got the 200, the 100, and the 50. And as per all of them, we're way above where we need to be. So if we activate our Bollinger Bands, we still got room to travel to the downside, but we do have this red line right here, which is our 20-day moving average, and we may end up bouncing off that. So if we look historically at freaking Paint Swap, present share screen. Let's look over here at Paint Swap at Brush. This sucker is on the weekly. And you guys can tell that we're about to break this line of support before we need to get to this area here of about 5 cents. And then we would need to recompromise this area over here at about freaking 16 cents, if anything. You know what I'm saying? Now, one thing that I did notice on this sucker, we do have a little bit of a cup and handle. You guys can see that we came down this way, we pulled back, and then we pulled back up. Hence why we're getting this area of resistance. This is a bullish freaking pattern, if anything, on doggone technical analysis. So depending on where Bitcoin goes, I think this coin is a coin that nobody's looking at, and I think it's a coin that'll probably do very well. If you cats that don't know, the Brush token is based off that one website called Paint Swap, where you can end up buying your Magic Cats. It's an NFT marketplace. Let me drop you guys a little bit of alpha, man. Go check out their liquidity pools. You'll thank me later. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the few liquidity pools that's actually paying out pretty damn well, if anything. You know what I'm saying? And we got my homie here, freaking Tex-Mex. ¿Qué onda, Boogie? Tarde pero seguro. This guy is the hardest working trucker in America, man. This guy's been grinding it out, man. So shout out to you, Tex-Mex. So that's what we got on these tokens over here. Now, I know you monkeys want to know about how freaking the Pulse Chain ecosystem is going. But next, we got to talk about the fragrance of the day. Now, as of late, man, and shout out to Kevin Samuels, man. He's the one that got me into freaking fragrance. I went up to my local freaking mall, and I went ahead and I picked up this fragrance here, and this is Orientica. And the name of this fragrance is called Amber Noir. It ran me for about 84 bucks. Now, and the bottle is pretty damn freaking, look at that shit, man. Now, the main note that I'm getting from this sucker is pretty much a lot of freaking sandalwood. And I'm getting some iris off of it, a little bit of cardamom, and some musk. On average, this sucker lasted me for about, I would say, about 4 hours on skin. It does smell pretty damn good. It is a daytime fragrance as we approach the summer. Now, a badass thing about this freaking bottle, the freaking atomizer's pretty damn strong. And it does seem pretty damn robust, if anything. Now, I wouldn't try dropping the sucker on the floor. I'm not going to say this motherfucker is as reliable as one of the Glocks I got back here, but it does smell pretty damn good. Now, people have stated that this is a clone of Lalabo's Santal 33. I would say it smells similar, but this one takes a different freaking approach to it. And I think this one lasts a little bit longer and it's a little bit more affordable. Again, this sucker ran for about 85 bucks. What would I give this fragrance from a scale to 1 to 10? I would give this sucker about an 8, give or take. So it doesn't smell bad at all. Of course, I wouldn't do more than about 7 sprays, man, if I'm going to be outside. 5 sprays would be normal if I'm going to be indoors. If I'm going to go to work, maybe about 2 sprays, especially if you're in an office environment. Now, I understand the freaking bottle looks hella freaking like designerish and shit. They made it look real pretty and stuff. But I could picture a construction worker rocking this, man. You know what I'm saying? This shit smells really freaking good, dude. It is a very masculine scent. Mind you, I forgot to mention, you do get a lot of musk out of this bad boy. Highly recommend this sucker, man. It's definitely one up there for the collection. So food for thought, monkeys. That is the fragrance of the day. So let's move on. Let's move on, cats. I know you suckers want to see where the hell AVAX is going. Let's see where AVAX is going. El pinche AVAX, vato. And I prepped this sucker for you cats. Now, AVAX has currently been rallying to the upside. And as you guys can see, it's been respecting this Fibonacci fan. It's been bouncing within this area. You can see it came up here, bounced on this portion, jumped over here, compromised this Fibonacci line, and continued its ascent. Then we dipped a little bit. And then as of recent, here on about March 11th, we beat out our recent high, which was at about 49 bucks. And currently our value is at about 58 bucks. Where can AVAX come back to? It would not surprise me if we come back down here to 49 bucks, and then we would have to come revisit this area here of about $43. But then once we revisit those areas, then we can run back up to the upside and possibly even compromise this area, putting us here easily at about 150 bucks. If we look at AVAX's history, the highest portion we've ever been on AVAX is about 148 bucks, give or take. So the $100 range is not outside of the realm of possibilities. Now, am I a big fan of AVAX? Not really. If I got into this token, I would use it to DCA into my other tokens. I would rather have Phantom than AVAX. Mind you, Phantom is a little bit more volatile than AVAX is and can possibly make you a little bit more gains. I would have to see the market cap on Phantom. I'm sure it's way smaller than that of AVAX. But this is one of the tokens that has been doing very well with GameFi. I do know that DeFi Kingdoms, their expansion, Crystalville, is on the AVAX freaking side of things. And I think it's a subsection where it's called, I think it's an L2 called the DFK chain. You know what I'm saying? And the main fuel token that you use on there is Joule. So if we activate our EMA ribbon on AVAX, we do have that area of support that I mentioned earlier at approximately $49, give or take. And since AVAX, you could tell that the EMA ribbon's tightening up a little bit. That entails that we're going to get less volatility, but it is still slightly spread, hence why you see this jump up to the upside. Now, mind you, anywhere Bitcoin goes, that's where AVAX will probably follow. The badass thing about AVAX, you can get it on almost any exchange. Now, mind you, make sure you put this sucker on your freaking MetaMask wallet and you don't leave it on the exchange because your ass is getting rugged. Now, a badass thing about this token as well is that it's not an ERC20, so it won't be too expensive to move it off your freaking Coinbase account. Now, you can see that AVAX has pierced its first standard deviation, which was yesterday, and the new candle that we're printing, we're now continuing to the downside. So it would not surprise me that we see this 20-day moving average moving up this way and acting as an area of support here of about $51 to 49 bucks. Would I start DCAing now into AVAX? I would say no. I would wait till at least comes down here to about $53 or possibly down here to about $49, give or take. You know what I'm saying? So food for thought, monkeys. I definitely want to show you this one. This is not one of the tokens I am holding. One of the things one of my homies did, and mind you, AVAX wasn't pumping yet, was he was holding on to EHEX, and then Richard Hart, he went ahead and he set out that tweet where he shat on EHEX, and he's like, dude, what the hell do I do with my EHEX? I had noticed that freaking AVAX hadn't moved, and I told him, bro, one of the options you can do, bro, is go ahead and move that dinero over to AVAX, and then a couple hours later, it ended up freaking printing this freaking GigaChat candle, which did make it a good portion of his money back, if anything. You know what I'm saying? So let me see if I can pull up this next chart here, since we're talking about Hex. Let's see where we got Hex at. Now, since we're talking about hex, this is hex pulse chain side. And you can see that currently we are pressing up on that 1 cent range, about 1 cent and 36% of a penny. If I activate our Bollinger Band on this sucker, we are pushing hard on that second standard deviation of the Bollinger Band. And that area would be here at about 1 cent and 31% of a penny. We're not far from that. Now, let's take our measuring tool and see where we're at right now. It does seem, let me see the sucker. It does seem that we've already finished our 20-day cycle and we are starting a new one. So, and this 20-day cycle looks a little bit bearish. So if I pull this sucker out to about day 14, mind you, we are at about day 5. And if I push the sucker to about day 14, that would put us around March 28th ballpark. That may be the day we start dumping anywhere from that date all the way to about April 4th. So the area we could revisit would possibly be this 96% of a penny area. I'm hoping we do come back down there. I know a lot of Hexicans don't want to hear that, but if it comes back down, it's a better opportunity for you cats to keep getting a little bit of hex. If any, I'm talking about P hex, by the way. I'm not talking about E hex right now. Right now, people are calling E hex more of a meme coin, if anything, monkeys. So food for thought. Now, if we turn on our 50, our 100, and our 200, we do have the 200 as an area of support right over here at about 1 penny and 24% of a penny. So that may be an area we may come revisit, and that would be a good point to start DCAing harder. Would I DCA now into PHEX? Yes, I probably would at 1 penny and 36% of a penny because we are pressing up on this orange support line, if anything. Now, area we do need to compromise. Of course, we need to bounce off that and then fight our way up back into this green box. And we would need to beat out this area of about 2 pennies and 93% of a penny before we go even compromise the all-time high on PHEX, which is 4 pennies and 34% of a penny, monkeys. And that's where PHEX freaking stands. Now, for you cats that don't want to pay the Ethereum gas fees on this sucker, I would highly recommend that you guys use Crypto Coffee's method. So make sure you guys go over to Crypto Coffee's channel. I think he uses Spark Swap by he goes over to Coinbase, and then this cat, what he does, he buys some Ethereum on Coinbase, and then he tries to send the Ethereum out of his Coinbase wallet, and he selects the Arbitrum network. And then from there, he uses that, and he links it with Spark Swap, and that goes ahead and it gives them some direct pulse chain. So food for thought, monkeys, that may be an option if you guys want to avoid the gas fees. Now, if you guys want to make some profit on any of your pulse chain coins, of course, you want to do it the native way of using the Richard Hart frickin' bridge. You know what I'm saying? So since we covered a little bit of PHEX, let's move on to the next token. Let's see what we got. Vamos a ver. Let's go over here to frickin' pulse chain. Now, I did draw up this channel for pulse chain, and we were trending within the channel. And as of late, and as per this new UTC candle, it does seem that we are at about, what, day 13 of its 20-day cycle. We did break the channel. We broke this area of support. Currently, we're at about, what is it, 3 zeros and a 1, 2. It would not surprise me, cats, if we come back down here to about 3 zeros and a 1, 1, and then we continue all the way here to about 3 zeros and a 1094. Keep your fingers crossed. I am hoping it dumps that hard, because, again, that is a better buying opportunity for you cats. If I activate the Bollinger Band on this sucker, you can see that we are pressing hard on the Bollinger Band. It's very similar to what freaking PHEX is doing. So since I'm showing you this, let me go ahead and show you this sucker on the weekly. Let me see if I can activate it for you monkeys. See how freaking pulse chain looks on the weekly, if anything. Here we go. Now, this is pulse chain on the weekly. Let me go and turn off this Fibonacci chart. You could see that we are quickly approaching this 2 candle area right here, the shoulder of these candles, to exactly 3 pennies and a 1, 1. And if we break down lower than that, I think the next area of support would be approximately here because we're looking at these two candles here. And that would be 3 zeros and a 1-0-1-0 before we completely fall into this area over here at about 4 zeros and a 6-9-7-1. I don't think we're going to end up dipping that hard. I mean, that would be dope. I would enjoy that. I know the freaking whole Hex community would be losing their freaking mind if that happened. Now, mind you, we do have this area of support. If we do break below this area here of about 3 zeros and a 1-1-8-1 to about 3 zeros and a 4 zeros and a 9-9-6-8. So food for thought, monkeys. If we do turn on the Fibonacci freaking thing that I drew up for you cats, a Fibonacci fan, you can see that we are approaching that yellow line, and the next line we're going to approach is probably here at about 0.382 on the Fibonacci retracement, and that would put us exactly at about 3 zeros and a 1060. So if we activate our moving averages, you could tell that we're clearly below all of them. Well, they're not popping up. Let's see. Put the sucker on the daily, son. There you go. Now, on the daily, you can see that we are approaching the 100-day moving average here of about 3 zeros and a 1906. Now, what I am consistently noticing that we do have a shitload of support around this area here, if anything, cats. So food for thought, monkeys. We probably won't break down below this area right here. This is a good area of support that we do have. So let's take this sucker down. Now, the final token I wanted to show you cats was PulseX. Let's see what we got on PulseX. Give me a second, monkeys. Give me 1 segundo. All right, I am back. Let's go check out a little bit of PulseX. Let's see what PulseX entails. Now, the badass thing about PulseX is that it hasn't reached its SAC rate yet, and it is slightly dipping. From all the RH coins, this is probably the one I would probably try to put my hands on a little bit more, and I'm hoping we come back down here to about 4 zeros and a 50, if anything. You know what I'm saying? And if we do break below that, then we would come revisit this area here of about 4 zeros and a 4008. Now, I do have the MACD here at the bottom. For you cats that don't know, this stands for moving average convergence divergence. Whenever you have the blue line above the red line, that entails that things are bullish. Currently, we've got the red line above the blue line, which pretty much means we're going to continue dipping to the downside. And mind you, I love freaking being a bear because it gives us better buying opportunities, if anything. You know what I'm saying? Now, if we do activate our 10-day moving average, you can see that's clearly above where our current candle print is at, but we are slightly above the 50-day moving average on the daily. I'm sure you cats can see that right there. If we activate our 100, that is way, way below. We would have to compromise this area here of about 4 zeros and a 4946 before we even retrace down here to about 4 zeros and a 4205. Now, the 200 is not even freaking showing up on the screen because it's not even an option right now as far as the daily goes. But let's look at how it looks with the Bollinger Band, if anything. Now, as per the Bollinger Band, it is pushing us to a maximum deviation of about 4 zeros and a 4546, which would be two standard deviations. As far as its 20-day cycle goes, I haven't really been tracking it on PulseX because it really hasn't been following its 20-day cycle. As you guys can tell, it continues bouncing to the upside. Area we do need to beat in the immediate time frame, I would say, and at least the next freaking 40 days, which I think is pretty damn possible, would be here 3 zeros and a 1308. And that would be pretty good because that approaches us almost the freaking SAC price. So let me see if I got this sucker for you cats over here on PulseX. On the Gold Pulse website, so I can show it to you, monkeys. Let me see what we got here. Okay. Present share screen. Now, over here on PulseX, no, this is the wrong one. Let's see. I want to show you ones. I want to show you guys the ones on the frickin' Go.Pulse website. Here you go. Let me take this sucker off. Now this sucker is on the weekly, and again, we do need to get to this top portion over here of about 3 zeros and a 1261. Now it does seem, if I grab this tool here, it does seem that we are holding this area here. So if we push that up and it does come down this way, you're talking about 4 zeros and a 2794. So we still got plenty of room to run to the upside. Now, some people argue that this is a double bottom. I can't really say that. It doesn't look like that at all because it came down this way, came back up, and it formed this W formation. But I would prefer it to retrace a little bit, which is a little bit healthier. And if we look at our support resistance on this sucker, let's see. We have this immediate area of support right here because we've got these sets of candles and this wick over here. So it could be we just stop right here at this yellow portion, which would be 4 zeros and a 4618. So don't sleep on PulseX, cats. For you guys that aren't too familiar with the RH tokens, if anything, you guys would know that PulseX is supposed to represent Uniswap. And Pulse Chain is supposed to represent Ethereum. And of course, Hex is supposed to represent Bitcoin. Uniswap did run harder than than Ethereum when it came out. So food for thought, monkeys. Do not sleep on freaking PulseX. I think it's a great option. I think come in the future, that'll probably be the first token that rallies the hardest. I remember when the entire Pulse Chain ecosystem launched, and I'm not referring to eHex. The token that was running the hardest was none other than PulseX. So food for thought, monkeys. It is a good token to hold on to, and it's a token that a lot of people haven't freaking looked at because they're all focusing on Pulse Chain or Hex. So food for thought, monkeys. That is a damn good token to get, at least till Richard Hart launches his MetaMask token. Well, do me a favor, cats. Again, being redundant, I want to keep dropping this alpha for you monkeys. So go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and definitely give me a follow on Twitter and give me a follow on Instagram. The more subscribers I do get, and the more likes I do get, it motivates me to keep freaking making video for you monkeys. And that pretty much covers it, cats. I'll try to be here Wednesday morning or possibly Thursday morning. See if I can get you guys a morning stream. Next Sunday, we are having the tacos and kimchi freaking crypto stream with my homie Angry Twinkie. And the reason we're calling it that, because I'm a Mexican and he's freaking Korean. Hence why we call it tacos and kimchi. It's a pretty damn informative stream, man. So I highly recommend you guys give Mr. Twinkie, Angry Twinkie, a follow and catch up with us on Sunday. But make sure you come back here Wednesday morning because I'm definitely going to freaking drop another video for you cats Wednesday morning or Thursday morning. And that pretty much covers it, monkeys. Catch you guys on the flip side.